Now, given a question to do with completing the square method, of course, given a question like this, like x squared minus 6x, what you need to remember is that you have to look at this digit here. You see it's minus 6, so it should be a half of this. A half of 6 is going to be 3, so it will be x minus 3 squared. Now, something that you need also to remember when you have an expression like this one, if you expand x minus 3, which is squared, basically you are going to have x times x, which is going to be x squared, x times minus 3 to be minus 3x, and again x times 3 times x is going to be minus 3x, and negative 3 times negative 3 is going to be plus 9. So which is going to finalize as x squared minus 6x plus 9. Now if you look at our expression was x squared minus 6x, there wasn't this extra plus 9. So when you are completing a square, you have to always subtract. You have always to subtract the square of this constant here, which is coming from 3 squared. So that is what you will have as the answer for this particular expression, which is the form that is given. Next, we have x squared plus 8x, then which means that a half of this is going to be what? Is going to be 4. So our expression is going to be x plus 4, which is coming from half of this. Then we shall square that minus the square of 4, which is going to be x plus 4 squared minus 16, which is the expression that we have here. We also have c, and our c is x squared minus 3x. And for us to express it the form that was given here, we're going to take a half of 3 is going to be 1.5, so it will be x minus 1.5, which is actually squared, then minus the square of 1.5. Now, something I need to bring to your attention is that anytime you are finding expressing into a completing square, what you have to ensure that always this is subtracted. Always it's subtracted. It doesn't matter whether it's a positive or a negative. That number that is squared outside, you have to subtract it. So at any given point, even if the expression was addition like this, the final answer here you are going to subtract, and therefore we are going to have x minus 1.5 squared minus 2.25 as our expression. So at any case or at any given point, you are asked to state the values of a. Now, for instance, if you are told to state the value of a and the value of b, you look where they are. For instance, here, our a is going to be negative 1.5, our b is going to be negative 2.25. That is according to completing the square method. Now, I'm going to take you to another set of questions which you are going to look at to ensure that you are well anchored, well prepared on how to answer questions to do completing the square. So we're going to move to another set of questions which you're gonna see at this given point. Now, you look at this question that you have here. Look at this question that we have here. We are told that express each of the following in the form a into x plus b squared plus c. So how are we going to go about this? For instance, a, we are given 2x squared minus 12x plus 19. Now, I want you to group this together, and then we're going to factor out the common factor. Now you see there is an a here, so meaning we are going to factor out what is common. So this is going to be 2 into bracket x squared minus 6x plus 19. So whatever that we're going to complete the square now is this particular part that we have here. Here is where we're going to complete the square. Now I want you to follow keenly. Now this is going to be 2. I'll use the block bracket like that. So we shall write x minus a half of 6. Remember the 2 that we are taken here is for factorization, so don't forget and confuse that. The 2 that we are taking out is for factorization of these 2. So the next one, remember always when you're completing a square, you have to divide that term that has only x by 2. So this is going to be 3 here. So I want you to write this squared. But always remember, when we are completing a square, we're going to subtract the square of the number that is inside the bracket there, which is 3 squared, like that. Then we were having plus 9 here, 19 rather, plus 19. So this is going to become what? 2 into bracket x minus 3 squared. This squared, 3 squared, is going to be 9. And because there's 2 here, is going to be multiplied by 9, so that we are going to have minus 18 plus 19. And then this is going to be 2 into x minus 3 squared plus 1. And now that becomes our expression. You see here now we have a into x plus b squared plus c. So according to this expression, our a is 2. Because if we, let me just write it below here, a into x plus b squared plus c. That's the form which we were to leave our answer. So our a is 2, our b is minus 3, our c is 1. And that is exactly what you are supposed to do in such kind of equation. So I want to take you through the second part of the equation so that you can understand the steps once more. So the first thing we're going to do, let us write the expression the way it was. And our expression is 3x squared minus 12x minus 1. Then now we are going to group these together so that we can be able to factor out the common term. And this is going to be 3 into x squared minus 4x minus 1. Once we have done that, I'll want to introduce block bracket, then I'll complete the square of this. So a half of 4 here is going to be 2. So this is going to be x minus 2. Then I'll square that, but always as completing a square method, we're going to subtract the square of what is inside the bracket. So this will be subtracting the square of that. Always you subtract, even if this sign inside here is a plus or it's a minus, always we have to subtract. And these 2 that we are squaring here is coming from what's in the bracket here. So this is the 2 that was squared. Then now as we proceed like that, remember the expression here was also having minus 1, original minus 1, which was here. Then now let us open the bracket. This will be 3 into x minus 2 squared minus, this is 4. 4 times 3 will be 12. 2 squared is 4 times this 3 that we have here, going to be 12 minus 1, and which means it's going to be 3 into x minus 2 squared minus 13. This is our answer for this particular question. So I will leave out this other question that we have here. We have part C. Try to work it out, and also try to work out part D. If you get it, you are good. Having done that, I also like to give you another possible question or another possible question that you've given, because I did mention that here I'm taking it through all the question, any question that you may be asked. So now we are supposed to write in the form, ax squared, not that, ax plus b squared plus c. How do we do that? Now this one I need to give you a different method. However, uh, I can say this is going to be 9. So square root of 9 is going to be what? Going to be 3. So it will be 3x minus a half of this is going to be 3. Then if we square that, and then we're going to now subtract the square of 3, then divide by 3. Of course, what you're going to realize is that then minus 3 here, minus 3, and this 3 is coming from this part. Okay, on this one, what we are going to do, for instance, we are given 9x squared minus 6x minus 3. I want you to look at this number that we have here, and also I want you to pay attention at this number that we have here. So when you're given such a question and you're supposed to express it in this particular form, I will expect you to find the square root of the first term, 9. The square root of 9 is going to be 3. So we're going to write 3x. Then minus, remember when we are completing a square, we divide this term by 2. This term by 2 is going to be 3. Then now, since there is an extra 3 here, we're going to divide that answer. We're going to get 3 by the 3 that we have here. So our answer here is going to be 1. And then we shall close the bracket there. And then we shall subtract this bit that was there, minus 3. Then always when you complete a square, there is an extra square of this. So we shall again subtract 1 squared. And this one is this one that is here. So finally, we're going to have 3x minus 1 squared minus 1 squared is 1, and then it's going to be minus 4. And that is now the form that is expected. I will also show you the part B so that we use the same method and we arrive at the answer. So we have for x squared plus 20x plus 30. So we are going to find the square root of 4. This is going to be 2x plus a half of 20 is 10. Then 10 divided by the 2 that is here. Remember in this question we said half of 6 is 3. Then that 3 that we got divided by 3. So this is going to be half of 20 is going to be 10, and then 10 divided by these 2 that we have here, we are going to get 5. So we're going to say this is going to be 5 at that particular point, squared minus the square of 5, minus 5 squared plus the 30 that we had there. So finally our answer becomes 2x plus 5 squared minus 25 plus 30, And finally, we can now say our answer in that form that was expected is going to be minus, no, this is plus negative 25 plus that is going to give us plus 5. So this is the form that we expected. So if we were supposed to find the value of A, B, and C, we can be able to relate that A is going to be 2, B is going to be 5, and C is going to be 5. That is one of the way you can be able to solve this kind of question. I want to give you another alternative method which you can be able to use in order to solve such a question. Let me just give you an alternative method and we see whether we are going to arrive at the same answer. Let me just give you an alternative method. Right. Okay, let me just go back. Yeah, I want to give you an alternative method which we can be able to use in order to work out such kind of questions. And if maybe that method is good for you, you can be able to use method 2. So the alternative method is not going to involve completing the square method, but we're going to use kind of algebra. Now we're going to express whatever we have here. We're going to expand that. This is going to be what? We were given ax plus b squared plus c. We're going to expand this to be ax plus b. If we expand that, ax plus b, then plus c. This is going to be a squared x squared plus axb. Let me just write it as abx. B times ax also going to be plus abx. Then b times b will be plus b squared plus c. So you can see now the expression that we have is going to be a squared x squared plus 2abx plus b squared plus c. So if you look at this, this is a quadratic equation whereby we have different terms. This is a, this is b, this is c. So we are going to, after you have expanded this, you are going to relate with the expression that we are given. For instance, let us use this expression that was 4x squared plus 40x minus, no, which one were we doing? Okay, 4x squared, this is part b, 4x squared plus 20x plus 30. So from here you can see our a is aligned with 4 is aligned with a squared. So we can say a squared equals to 4. And therefore here if we find the square root, we're going to get our a equals to 2. Now when a is 2, but I want also to see that this 2ab is well aligned with 20. So we can also say 2ab equals to 20, but our a is 2. So it's going to be 2 times 2, it will be 4b equals to 20 divided by 4, which is going to be 5. So our b is going to be 5. Then we have gotten the value of b, we have the value of a. Then we are going to Uh, mm. So now that we have the value of b, we can now find c, because this b squared plus c is corresponding to this particular term here. Very interesting, huh? So we're going to say 5 squared, because it's b squared plus c equals to 30, and this is going to be b squared is 5 squared plus c plus c equals to that, and this is 25 minus 30, so c is going to be 30 minus 25, so c equals to 5. You can see now the answer we are getting the answers which are similar. So if you are we got same answer, so meaning you can choose this particular method if you would like to use it. How do you find it? All right. Another possible question that you can be asked when you are dealing with completing the square, you can be told to solve quadratic equation using completing square method, and sometimes they can tell you to leave your answer in sad form. So what is important is to know how to use completing square method, and we're going to say maybe this is x squared plus 4x minus 7 equals to 0. We can decide and take this on the other side, so that we have x squared plus 4x equals to 7. So whatever we have now, we can be able to complete the square on the left hand side, and this one we're going to take x plus a half of 4, this is going to be 2 squared, minus the square of this number that is inside here, so it will be 2 squared equals to 7. So once we've done that, we're going to say it's going to be x squared, not x squared, but it's going to be x plus 2 squared minus 4 equals to 7. Then we shall take this on the other side, so that we have x plus 2 equals to 7 plus 4. So this is going to finally become what? This is going to become x plus 2 squared equals to 11. Now, in order to find the value of x, we are going to find the square root both sides. That's why they are saying leave your answer in sad form. So you don't have to find the square root of 11, because there's no exact square root of 11. So we are going to have x plus 2 equals to plus or minus root of 11. So if you take this on the other side, it will be x equals to minus 2 plus or minus square root of 11. Now, this is what it means by leaving your answer in sad form. This was part A. Then I'll take you through part B, so that you can be able to do the rest. This is x squared minus 10x plus 2 equals to 0. So as usual, we're going to take this on the other side. We remain with x squared minus 10x equals to negative 2. Then here we are going to take x minus a half of 10 is going to be 5. So we shall write 5 down here, then we square that. Then we're going to subtract the square of 5 minus the square of 5 equals to negative 2. And of course, the square of 5 is going to be 25. So this is going to be x minus 5 squared minus 25 equals to negative 2. So let us take this on the other side. Then we shall have x minus 5 squared equals to 25, because it was a negative. The moment it goes on the other side, it will be a positive number, minus 2, and this becomes x minus 5 squared equals to 23. So that is what we have at that given point. So once we have this, we can now find the square root both sides so that we can be able to leave our answer in sad form is equals to the root of. Now if we have found the square root, is going to remain as shown there. This the x minus 5 equals to root plus or minus 23. So if we take 5 on the other side, our answer will be x equals to 5 positive plus or minus 23 as our final answer. That's how you complete a square and use it in order to solve quadratic equation. That's why you see we have two answers plus or minus. It means you are going to have two answers and quadratic equation have two answers. Some other questions you will not get this sad form. You will get a number that you can be able to find the square root. But because this question was instructing us to give our answer in sad form, that's why you see we are getting this kind of answers in these particular parts.